you've been speaking about, mate, the long term game here, and I think there probably isn't enough long term thinking, although it's arguably changing. But there maybe isn't enough long term thinking in the business world. Particularly when you move into like the public space, public company space, because investors want quarterly returns. And this is where you see companies go completely awry and lose touch with what they originally set out to do. And so he has this order of hierarchy. Now the advantage he's got is obviously it's a private company, so he's got liberty to do this, but his enlightened hospitality has a order of stakeholders, and so I'll read the order from most important to I'm not going to say least important, but least important. So number 1 is employees. Number 2 is the guests or customers. Number 3 is your suppliers. Number 4 is the community, and number 5 are your investors.
This is true long-term thinking,
This is exactly what it is, because what it means is you need to set expectations with the investors, and you need to be able to basically sell like a very meritocratic product or service in order to convince those investors to get on board.
Well, the thing is, it kind of optimizes for profits, but it realizes profits are the outcome of a lot of things going right in the machine. And I'd say it optimizes for the guests or the customers by putting the employees first. It means they're going to be better able to serve the guests. By caring about the investors last, you're actually kind of caring about them the most as well. You're just telling them, hey, be patient, we're building something. Yeah. That's
exactly right. It's almost, well, it comes back to what we just said before, mate, which is there's that really look after the employees and get out of their way to some degree, and they will make things happen. And I think that definitely underpins this. Taking another example, mate, is we mentioned community in there, which was also above investors. And his approach to starting up restaurants in some places was a similar approach you'd probably take to like property investing, which is looking at gentrification zones, looking at places that are up and coming, that are under development. And then don't just mind your own business. excuse the cliche, but actually put in effort for the community around you. Put in effort for building your locale. And we see a lot of this in the startup world.
Cycle.
Yeah, it's like network effects to some degree at a local scale.
Yeah, it's cool. I like it. I think it's great. I think it's hospitality in a way. It just makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
If you're talking about long-term ambitions.
That's exactly right. Well, and I guess if you aren't, then maybe it begs the question, like, why are you going into business as well?
Yeah.
And so then the last one I've got here, mate, is he's been through a number of tough times. He's been through many boom and bust cycles across the space of all of his restaurants, and people certainly stop dining out as often when it's tough times. So it's definitely an industry that's on the coal face in regard to that. And so quite often what you see is a lot of big cuts in terms of employees, in terms of services offered, in terms of types of meals that are served. He again wanted to flip that on its head and just try and keep playing the long game as much as possible. Yes, he made cuts where there was excessive, maybe some of the lower, let's the lower bang for buck spaces. So maybe like we won't have lobster tail bits on as garnish on certain meals or something. I don't know, that type of stuff. And so removed some of that, but at the same time, they would up the amount of stuff they're doing on like a charity front, for example. So they'd be giving out more vouchers for their restaurant to charity calls and things. And again, it was focused on rebuilding and trying to reinvigorate the business and encourage people to start changing their behaviors to come back, which doesn't pay short-term benefits.
Yeah, I think I'd add one more to that as well, is that I think he's contrarian in the fact the grow slow thing. I think it's quite contrarian too. It's quite opposite to what the common philosophy is now. And I'm tending to kind of try and think about that, is that, like I said, it's a long career that you'll have. So.
Well, Grow, he really put the shackles, he really put the leash on growth as much as he could. And it was almost like it was bursting from its own seams, it sounded like, the business itself, the essence itself.
He didn't force it. He kind of let it happen when it was the right time. And even probably after it was the right time, I think you'd probably say, he left it probably too long. But that just meant that tension when it was ready to go, it really went,
Yes.
So.
Yes, I see what you're saying.